Well, that direct was sure something. Let's talk about those legendaries. So first off, the two wolves prediction was on point! Though, considering they were kinda the logos, it's not hard to see why. Also, before I really get into it, no! Zamazenta is not a lion! Are you dumb? Can't believe how many people are telling me this on Twitter. 1, it has a mane, yes, just like maned wolves. 2, why would they do a lion legendary twice in a row? 3, I've never seen a lion with this many wolf traits before. And 4, no it's not, it's a wolf. Anyway, many were thinking that the Galar region would share a lot of symbolism with Kalos, since France and the UK share so much history and are so close themselves, and sure enough, it is. Norse mythology, both of them. The Norse played a massive role in shaping the way all of Europe is today, and especially the UK, and we do see what look like Norse runes inscribed on some rocks all around Galar now, don't we? You likely already know X and Y's connection to Norse mythology, so I won't go over that in detail, but what you need to know for now is that the legendaries are representative of entities around Yggdrasil, the Tree of Life where all of the worlds reside. And you should know that Nidhogg, Fenrir, and Hel, who are Zygarde's 3 forms, all play important roles in Ragnarok, which is the end of the world. It's Norse Armageddon. And that is how we get to that two wolves prediction. Skull and Hati are 2 wolves in Norse mythology who hunt down the sun and the moon, and when Ragnarok comes, they are said to devour them. Plus, Zamazenta's shield is decently sun-like, at least as sunny as a lion's mane would be. It's kind of a stretch, I guess. But when activated, Zacian's sword gets a moon-shaped thing on the end of the hilt, and it's moon colors. So, considering the last games were sun and moon, well, let's just say it all comes together. But that is not the only possibility. Also in Norse mythology, there are 2 warrior wolves that belong to Odin, Geri and Freki, or Jerry and Freaky. These names. These 2 wolves fight alongside Odin in battle and even sit at the table with him to eat. And when Odin sits on his throne, one wolf sits by Odin's sword, and the other sits by Odin's shield, and Odin holds his spear. Could the 3rd legendary be a spear then? Maybe something with a spear tail? Or perhaps a humanoid thing representing Odin himself, or maybe Tyr, another god frequently confused with Odin as they share a lot. Perhaps. Odin is, among other things, a god of war and hunting, known for wielding his weapons with his wolves by his side, after all. But maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's get out of theorization and back to reality for just a moment. First, let's go over how their names are different, their latter syllables. The Sion in Zacian is an easy one. It's Gaelic for ancient. Considering most legendary Pokemon are ancient, that one works out pretty well, especially considering that Gaelic is an ancient Celtic language that eventually evolved into modern-day Irish and Scottish. Well, that just makes sense now, right? The Galar region is based on Great Britain, after all. Zamazenta is a trickier one, though. Mazenta is the Japanese spelling and pronunciation of magenta, but there's no magenta on this Pokemon, is there? Wait a sec. Oh no. Oh no, the Pokemon Shield logo is magenta. Ah! Zacian, Cyan. Ah! The color of the sword logo is cyan, the color of the shield logo is magenta. Oh my god. Well, that's just terrible and I hate it. At least if that's the only thing. At least Zacian has the extra meaning in there. There must be something we can pull for Zamazenta then. Well, during the Great Turkish War there was the Battle of Zenta, which was just south of the city Zenta. Doesn't really involve a wolf or a shield though, because they had guns at that point. The SMS Zenta is an Austria-Hungarian warship class known for its guns, which have gun shields. No. Zenta is a natural stress reliever. Doubt it. Zenta is also the name of a mental and physical health tracking bracelet. It's probably not that. Oh, you know what? You know that medieval manuscript fancy text font letter thing where the first letter is really big and it has a bunch of like doodles behind it? More recently, that's been dubbed the Zentangle art style. Zenta, Zentangle. but by recent I mean like 2003, so maybe that's not the reason for the name, but considering old-timey Europe, and especially considering Celtic art, which also fits the whole Gaelic name of the other legendary and all that, it could be. That could play a role in the name. Maybe not. Jeez. Is it really just cyan and magenta then? Perhaps. And that would make it 2 of the 4 colors that printers use. CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, black. Why black is K? You'll have to look up. It's an interesting fun fact. But I guess we'll know when the 3rd legendary is revealed. And you know, at the end there, they did put up their guard as something approached from the sky. Is that the yellow legendary, perhaps? Maybe it's a yellow spear wielder. Also, almost forgot to mention, the other prediction from long ago was that these legendaries were to be based on an unstoppable force and an immovable object. A common quandary. And this is proved true. Their official descriptions state that Zacian's shining blade can cut through anything. Anything! Meanwhile, Zamazenta's gleaming shield can turn back any attack. Any! It's perfect offense versus perfect defense. So who wins? But back to the name origins, how about the prefix they share? First of all, ZA or ZA is a prefix used in a number of languages. For instance, in Serbo-Croatian languages, it can be applied to adjectives to denote that it means a finished action. Something is done. And in Polish, it can be applied to verbs to indicate that an action is irreversible. And in quite a number of South African languages, such as Zulu, it means of or of the. So no matter which of these possibilities it is, it works. So it could mean of the cyan, or of the ancient times, of magenta, or perhaps irreversible cyan, irreversible magenta, magenta finisher, ancient cyan finisher. All of these work considering their theming. Both of the unstoppable force versus immovable object theming, as well as Skull and Hati's role in Ragnarok, Norse Armageddon, the end, the finisher. And with ZA meaning all those things, it also points to all of the Z's in their names working really well for other bits of symbolism too. Z has been used in Pokemon a number of times to symbolize the end. It's the end of the alphabet after all, which is where they get the idea from. Z moves are anime finisher moves. AZ brought an end and a new beginning to the Pokemon world as they knew it with the ultimate weapon. Project Azoth's goal was to wipe the world clean, end it, to start anew. Necrozma also threatens to end the world by absorbing all of the light. Pokemon XYZ ended the classic Ash anime as the Sun and Moon one, which would start an entirely new art direction and storytelling method. And in the anime, Zygarde, the XYZ legendary, also almost ended the world, or at least Kalos. And Zygarde's inspirations play roles in Ragnarok, just like Zacian and Zamazenta. There's a lot here. Bonus theoretical detail! Remember how in Sun and Moon the legendaries are officially genderless like every other legendary, but male and female are implied heavily for them? As in alchemy and mysticism, the sun is masculine and the moon is feminine. And also, it's literally stated in the Pokedex entries. We may have a similar situation here. Skull and Hati are also male and female, according to some sources anyway. Others say they are brothers rather than brother and sister. Norse mythology is heavily debated, yo. And Skull, the male, hunts the sun as the sun is masculine, and Hati, the moon, as it's feminine. This also makes their names work well, as Cian, or Kian, is also a super common male surname in Ireland that I'm probably mispronouncing. In fact, it was the 8th most common name in 2003! Wikipedia for the win! It's also the name of the father of Lug, an Irish god, and then the ending suffix of Zamazenta is the feminine form of entus, meaning abounding in, or full of in Latin. Which, come to think, that also works really well with the name. You know, most legendary Pokemon have like quadruple meanings in their name. They're super deep. Oh man, what if the printer color theory is true? CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, black. What if Necrozma comes back as the black? Sort of similar to how Zygarde came back in Sun and Moon. Probably not, but it's an idea. More likely, we'll get 1 or 2 new legendaries to symbolize one or both of those colors. Oh gods, you know what? Along with his 2 wolves, Odin also has 2 ravens, which are said to be all-seeing, all-hearing, and sometimes even all-knowing. Infinite wisdom, eternal. So we already have two no-limit fallacies, a cyan unstoppable force and a magenta immovable object. And they team up to fight something that's coming over them, something creating wind around them, like the wings of a raven. Is it perhaps a yellow raven with a spear who is all-knowing in its infinite sight? Another no-limit fallacy? You cannot stop this sword! You cannot attack through this shield! And you can't even hit something that is all-seeing. As it'll just perfectly dodge your attacks. It knows you're gonna attack it before you do. You know, considering ravens are black, it'd be kinda lame to just have a black raven, especially since they just sort of showed a new Pokemon that's a black crow knight. So I guess, while it would be a little weird, a yellow raven with some armor and a crown and a spear tail, or like spears on the ends of its wings, it could work. They could have two ravens or just one, since yellow would make sense as just the raven, because all those colors minus the black, if you mix the cyan, magenta, and yellow, all of them combined make black. So there's that. And it wouldn't even be the first time we have multiple mythological entities merged into a single Pokemon. Cough Zygarde, cough Xerneas. Zallow. Zallow could be a name for it. But then, what about it being a dragon? That'd be so classic! A classic fire-breathing draconic dragon? It's perfect for England! And you know what? Beowulf is a story based in Scandinavia, inspired by Norse myth, but written in Old English as it's English. Super classic English literature. And Beowulf fought your classic fire-breathing dragon with, and it's specified, a sword and a shield. So, maybe it's a classic dragon that's yellow and has spear elements. Or it's just a classic dragon with a crown. And it's yellow. Well, if we're considering a classic dragon, you could also say St. George, who was an Englishman, who famously fought a dragon with a spear. And right now, just to clarify, this is all theoretical. Can't really say for sure one way or another with the data we got. I mean, really, 80% of this is probably going to be wrong. But the ideas, man. Knowledge. Well, maybe. It's all speculation at this point, and that's just my idea. What are yours? Let me know down below, and we also have a Discord with a spoilerific Sword and Shield discussion channel if you're interested. Link below. And coming soon, we have a set of videos all about dragon Pokemon, so be sure to check out What Makes a Dragon Type coming June 8th. It's essentially part 1 of the 2-part Every Dragon Type Pokemon Explained, and it's going to kick off Dragon Month. I hope to see you there. So you be sure to never stop using your noggin. And I hope to see you there. Please come watch it. You'll love it.